All right, everybody. So it's 5 o'clock on the money. My name is LaPhaedra Macklin. I'm a nurse practitioner with North Mississippi Health Services, and today we're going to be talking about find time for fitness. So we already know that it can be a little bit challenging to fit in 150 minutes of activity each week. So this module that we're going to go over today is going to teach everybody, including myself, well, how we're going to find time to get in some fitness or some activity. Did anybody do any walking or any exercising today? I mean, it's been really pretty outside.
I've done a lot of walking around the hospital today, but not outside yet.
That counts for something. I mean, just walking, that counts. Anybody been outside today?
Yes, I've been outside a couple of times today.
All right, well, that's good. Yeah, trying to enjoy some of the sunshine. So first off, welcome back, everybody. Like I said before, this meeting is about finding time for fitness. Our whole goal is to prevent type 2 diabetes, or just to help with the management if someone already has that diagnosis. And we're going to incorporate CDC's lifestyle changes. So we're going to go and talk about finding time for fitness. So before we get started, does anybody have any questions? Any testimonials, anything? So as we already know, it can be challenging to fit in at least 150 minutes of activity each week. And so today we're going to talk about different ways in which we can incorporate those different activities in that identified time of 150 minutes. Now, it doesn't have to be 150 minutes all at one time. This is something that we can break up over the 7 days in a week. So there are some benefits to being active, and the challenge of fitting in fitness. That's something to think about. And then how to find time for fitness. So those are the three things. So those three things, again, are going to be some benefits to being active. We're going to discuss that. We're going to also discuss the challenge of fitting in fitness. And we're also going to discuss how to find time for fitness. And finally, at the end, we'll make a little action plan and try and figure out how we're going to incorporate these different changes into our own personal lives so that we can get the results that we want. So let's start by doing a quick review of the benefits of being active. Being active can lower the risk of type 2 diabetes in 2 ways. Does anyone recall what those 2 ways are? Or if you don't know the 2 ways, can anybody think of some benefits to being active? Okay, that's fine. So being active can help you lose weight. It can also help lower your blood sugar. So being active can lower your risk of type 2 diabetes. Can anybody think of some benefits to being active? I know I just asked, but maybe you thought of something in the last 2 seconds. Any benefits to being active?
Well, definitely the things you've already spoken of, such as weight loss, but also just being active also helps improve your mood and just better mental stability overall by being active.
That's true. So I'm gonna go ahead and round it up. I got a little list we're gonna talk about really quickly. So one way being active can include, or the benefits of being active can include better sleep, better mood. I think you touched on that, Angel, just a second ago. It can improve your balance and flexibility. So that's helpful because we gotta make sure our joints stay all nice and fluid as we age. Those things can kind of bother us over time. Old Arthur can get in there, so we can benefit from moving. Um, you can lower your blood pressure and cholesterol. That's a benefit from being active. You can also lower your risk of heart attack and stroke. You can lower your stress level, and everybody has a little bit of stress. I mean, just trying to figure out what you're gonna have for dinner is stressful for me. I'm sure that is for other people too. It can increase your energy and also build stronger muscles. So these are all things, you get stronger muscles, you get better physique. I mean, all these things go together. So these are all benefits to being active. So what I do have is a story about a gentleman named Mark. And so Mark, he's trying to discover some time to be active as well. So I'm going to read his little story, and then we can maybe talk about it or discuss it. Um, as we already know, this program, the whole goal is for us to get in 150 minutes of activity a week at a moderate pace or even more. So that could equal out to about 2.5 hours. What's a good way to know if you're being active at a moderate pace? Does anybody have an idea of how we can gauge that? What kind of test we could do to try and determine um, if we're active at a moderate pace? Does anybody know?
If we're able to talk but not sing.
That is exactly right. You took the words right out of my mouth. If you can talk, you can do the talk test. That's what it's called. So that basically means that you can talk while you do the activity, but you can't sing while you do the activity. Unless you're Beyonce, because she can talk and sing and do all that at the same time. And that's just amazing. But we're not Beyonce. So we're going to do the best that we can. So it can be challenging to find time to reach this goal. And so like I said, we're going to look at Mark's story. So Mark is a busy guy, and he is at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. His provider wants him to participate in at least 150 minutes of activity. So on weekdays, Mark takes care of his grandkids while their parents are at work. And on the weekend, he works at a library. In the evening, he likes to relax and watch television. Mark is having trouble finding time to reach his goals. Mark decides to make some changes. These days, he gets up 30 minutes sooner so he can take his morning walk. He lifts weights or he marches in place while he watches television, and he also plays soccer with his grandkids. It's a great exercise for all of them, plus it's fun. Mark is finally reaching his fitness goals. So that's Mark's story. How about any of you guys out there? What makes it challenging for you all to fit in 150 minutes a week? And that 150 minutes, that's 2.5 hours of activity. What makes it difficult for you guys to incorporate that? Anybody want to talk about it?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Oftentimes it's weather.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's rainy. And then another challenge is um not feeling like changing clothes at the gym and driving by the gym when the parking lot's full.
I know it. That's a real deterrent. Help slow me down. Like if the gym is full, I will keep going. But if the gym is full, sometimes you can walk outside. Um, if the weather permits. I mean, there are a lot of different things that we could do. Um, and then with everybody's schedule being so hectic and busy, I know that in the afternoons it's sometimes hard to fit in that fitness time. So sometimes if you get up a little bit earlier, maybe you can have a fresh start, you can clear your head and get in maybe 30 minutes before you actually go to work. So one way to find time to fit in your fitness would be to schedule it, possibly tweak your schedule a little bit. And then there are various fitness apps that you could get from your app store um, to try and help you organize your time better. Anybody else want to talk about different ways of, can we brainstorm and figure out how we can fit in some fitness? Anybody else got any ideas? So we
You
said
can
that we could
walk on your
schedule
lunch
it. I'm
break.
sorry, I hear you.
I'm sorry. You can walk on your lunch break.
Yes, that's a thing. You can walk on your lunch break, have a quick snack and go for a walk. That's one thing you could do.
You can
Anything
add a
else?
you can add a friend.
Yes, that's true. I have found that I use my Apple Watch, and so I have different friends in different places. And so I'll challenge them. We'll challenge each other with how many steps we get in. It's always a race, and I always win, but that's always kind of fun. Anything else? So we kind of talked about some of these. I mean, different things already. Um, let's look at what's on the screen. So some of the ways that to fit fitness in anytime, like we said, we can schedule it. We can tweak our schedule. Talked about the fitness trackers. Here we go. While watching television, you can lift weights. You can stand up or maybe march in place during the commercials or even during some of the shows, because most of the time we have the television on, but we're also scrolling on Facebook, Instagram. I almost said MySpace, but that was a long time ago. You can do a little tweeting. But while you're watching television, you can kind of get up and move around. And while you're doing other things, you can move briskly to try and get in some of that activity. Also, if you go grocery shopping, which we all do at some point, you can park far away and then try and get those steps in like that. Maybe walk or even ride your bike. Let's see. Oh, with it being nice outside in spring, I just wrote down a whole lot of different things. Maybe you can garden, because even though you think, oh, well, that's not activity, it really is. You're actually doing different things. You can rake the lawn, get some of those leaves out of the way. Spring cleaning is a thing. And if you're just active, sometimes that'll be helpful. You can even walk your dog. My dog won't walk, but sometimes I'll have to carry her. But we both get out there and try and go walking. So that's some kind of way you can incorporate some activity. And then you said walk with a friend. So maybe some fitness classes you can incorporate. Sometimes you can call somebody while you walk, call somebody on the phone and do a quick little FaceTime, or walk the stairs during your lunch break instead of eating the entire time. Maybe do the stairs, and then walk with a family member. All right. Does anybody have anything they want to just add in real quick? So our whole goal is to create an action plan, something that's realistic, something that's doable and specific to our own lifestyles, and that's even also flexible. We've only been on for maybe 10, 13 minutes. Has anybody come up with something that they'd like to incorporate into their own lifestyle to help them reach their goals? Parking further away, walking with a friend, talking on the phone while you walk? Has anything piqued anybody's curiosity that they like to incorporate into their lifestyle?
I'll continue to park further away and take the stairs going into work.
I like that. I like that. That's one thing you can do. Anybody else got anything they'd like to add? Well, as we come to the close of our meeting, we've discussed some common barriers with fitness and some things that we've talked about. We talked about some benefits of being active. We've also talked about the challenge of fitting in fitness and how to find time for fitness. Before we go, are there any questions or anything that anybody would like to add?
I will just say I would like to remind everyone that's participating in the program to email their weight and their activity minutes to diabetesprevention@nmhs.net. And we will see everyone next Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
All right. And on that note, thank you so much. See you guys next week.